Will this decision to start Cousins be the turning point in this series?
I think it will be, but it's not because of starting or whatever. It's the amount of minutes that he played and what he was able to do when he did play. The fact is that he was exceptional in the second half last night. He took over point forward roles from Draymond Green. That's number one, because of the assist that he was recording. He was grabbing key rebounds because at one point, Toronto seemed to be getting every offensive rebound or whatever. And you just said, all right, somebody's got to help them out on the boards. He came in and offset that. More importantly, his defense on pick and roll situations by the Toronto Raptors. You didn't expect him to be able to move so well, but he did. His defense was definitely up there. And last but not least, it served to neutralize Gasol and Ibaka. Those guys were pivotal in game one. Even though Siakam went off, Gasol did have 20 points in game one. Ibaka did make a contribution as well. And when you look at DeMarcus Cousins in the post, all of a sudden they were limited to one shot. All of a sudden the path to the lane wasn't as easy as it had been with the undersized Kevon Looney and those boys. You can't say enough about the job that DeMarcus Cousins did in game two last night. I thought he was the MVP of the game because of the way that he played in the second half. And I got to give love to Quinn Cook as well with those two big threes. Of course, Iguodala hit a couple of big threes in the second half. But DeMarcus Cousins, to me, was the key X factor in all of this. I cannot say enough about how he played yesterday.
Yeah, I would say this is the Boogie Cousins game. Maybe along honorable mention Iguodala, because Iguodala not only hit the nail in the coffin, but also played excellent defense when it looked like I don't even know if he'd play the series after that injury. It may wind up being the difference in this series starting Boogie, because if you recall game one, Boogie's passing, and he's a brilliant passer. He plays the right way. It was almost overdone. Like they were passing up good shots for not for better shots, for no shots. They were overdoing it. But after a guy's been out for a while, he needs a game or usually a couple games to get his rhythm, to be integrated into the team. In Boogie's case, his basketball IQ was so high, it took him one game. By game two, as Stephen A. said, he's running point forward. He was the Draymond Green on both ends of the floor. Like, who would think that Boogie could be Draymond on both ends of the floor? But he was. The question is, can he do this consistently after sitting for so long, after being hurt for so long? Remember, he's coming off catastrophic injury and then got hurt and then hasn't been playing. So, like, for him to do it one game is all well and good. Can he continue to do this coming off of all that? Yeah, that could decide the series.
Yeah. I think so. It definitely could decide the series because you're going to need something from Gasol and Ibaka. You got to remember, when you look at them without Boogie Cousins, and by the way, let me not forget to give Andrew Bogut props. He only played about 6 or 7 minutes, but hit all three of his shots, and spelled for Boogie Cousins. So because once Looney went down with the collarbone injury, courtesy of Kawhi Leonard colliding into him while driving to the basket, he certainly had to leave the game. He didn't come back. So it was about Bogut, it was about DeMarcus Cousins, and you didn't anticipate in a series like this that Golden State would be able to do that. But having a big body that you could put in the post area whose girth and mass, not to mention skill, was something so formidable that Toronto would have to deal with. Suddenly, Gasol and Ibaka seemed ill-equipped to do it.
Also, consider the starting five. They're all like, oh, my God, with KD, right? But now just swap KD out for Boogie Cousins. If Klay is healthy, you still have Steph, Klay, Iggy, Draymond, Boogie Cousins. Like, you can't do much better if you're...
And you can't. Well, listen, you're looking at the skill set, but I'm going to tell you what I think. I don't think it was so much just Cousins' skill set. I thought it was time. He played 27 minutes and 38 seconds. You could not have planned for that if you're Nick Nurse and them, because he was going for 14 games straight in the postseason. He comes back in game one, only plays 8 minutes. Who would have thought that suddenly he's starting the next game, and not only is he starting, but he's going to give us 28 minutes. Nobody anticipated that.
So important for him going into a contract year, by the way. Anyone with eyes knew Boogie Cousins was a devastating talent, right? You could see that. Not the most athletic dude, but his skills were unmatched at his size. He was great. The question is, could he use them in service of a winner, of a champion? And last night what he showed was, he was the best player on the floor on a championship team in a pivotal game. And that really is answering critics who had questions, not even answers, just questions. Can he do it? The answer last night was yes.
Tied with Curry and Draymond being a plus 12 on the floor last night, and Marc Gasol in 31 minutes had 6 points, and Ibaka in 16 plus minutes had 7.
Max, let me ask you this. Who's the MVP so far on the Warriors?
Whew. I mean, yesterday it was Boogie Cousins, and they lost the game before. So can you say Boogie? I mean, maybe Iguodala because he's played both games, and this last game was hurt?
Let me tell you who it is for me. Draymond Green.
I think Draymond's the answer.
Draymond has been consistent. Last night he has 17, 10, and 9. Similar numbers. Did a triple-double twice in the Western Conference Finals. Obviously, damn near had a triple-double in both games this series. This dude is playing lights out. The guy is a point forward. He's running your offense half the time. He's defending. He's rebounding. He's assisting. A couple of sloppy turnovers along the way. But for the most part, and not only that, his speed and quickness, because he lost those 23 pounds, they can't, when he's got the ball near the top of the key, he's blowing by some of their bigs. They don't want to come out and get him, but they have no choice because even though he's not that threat to launch a perimeter shot, he's finding the open perimeter shooters better than anybody.
No argument. That is the right answer. It's Draymond, and consider this. I thought he was the MVP of the Portland series. He dominated the offensive glass. He was great. And now in this series so far, he's probably the MVP of the Warriors. Consider, had it not been for the Cavs winning at Game 7 at Oracle, Draymond would have been the MVP of those finals. Yep. That dude is historically great, clutch
and
under
keep
pressure.
in mind, Steph Curry has never won a Finals MVP. KD won 2, Iggy won 1.